Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Gabriel Engel. Gabriel Engel is the CEO and co-founder of Rocket.Chat, the leading open source team communication platform that allows users to chat securely on the web, desktop, or mobile, and offers the choice of both self-managed and SaaS options. Gabriel founded Rocket.Chat in 2015 and is passionate about collaboration tools, open source, and new technology. Prior to Rocket.Chat, Gabriel co-founded Connectee and worked as a product manager for business innovation and mobile applications at Vodafone Global Enterprise. Gabriel's long-term vision for Rocket.Chat is to replace email with a real-time federated communications platform. Well, good afternoon, Gabriel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. This is so exciting. And again, I tell people this all the time, podcasting is the favorite part of my job, but the fact that I've got to traverse over 30 countries across the globe. And today I'm talking to you and you're based out of Brazil. So thank you so much for jumping on. And so, Gabriel, we're going to jump right into the questions. Let's talk about your career a little bit. You have a career in technology, you're a developer, a serial entrepreneur, and now you're the founder and CEO at Rocket.Chat. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Yeah, I guess there's a phrase that was quoted by Steve Jobs about the whole Earth catalog that it says about stay hungry, stay foolish. And I think it kind of defined my career up to this date. It was always trying to watch for new things, for new trends, wanting to find the new challenges, the new objective. And not being afraid of get out of my comfort zone.
That's awesome. I do appreciate you sharing that. And you're absolutely right. Steve Jobs is someone to look up to and learn from. So again, thank you for sharing that. So Gabriel, we're going to talk a little bit about the pandemic. The pandemic is starting to lift, kind of. We've got this other variant that's coming out. So who knows what's going to happen. But let's say we go back to some sort of normalcy. What are your business plans your plans for business growth going forward? And will it be any different than the last 16 months?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It's something that we are currently reviewing and like planning for the time ahead, because the last 6 months, it was very different, right? During the lockdown, there was the run, like companies are running to try to understand this new model of working remotely and looking to how to do that change as fast as possible and like adapt. And now what we see is the companies understand that this is a new, even going back to the normal, there is a new normal, right? So the hybrid work comes to stay, and platforms like ours, which enable the digital workplace, people to work either distributed or even if it's in an office, but on a hybrid way, become a norm. But they now can understand that they have to look into how they structure their teams on a more strategic way. And then it started to take more into consideration things like privacy, security, where the data is stored, who has access to the data, how flexible the platforms are for them to turn into a competitive advantage, or building automation on top of those conversations. And then that's how it's shifting our strategy. So first, we were during the pandemic just trying to, as quick as possible, help customers to make this transition. And now we're looking more how we can enable or even migrate customers that have used competitors or used other tools to migrate a tool that allows them to have this full control of data and privacy, and also that allows them to bring all the conversations with customers, internal teams, partners, and suppliers into a central platform and leverage the benefits that unlocking and removing the silos can bring on. So it's a journey that we are making together with our customers, and that changes all our sales strategy, the pitch, the type of engagement that we're getting with customers.
Thank you for sharing that. And that is so important. And I'm glad that, this journey, as you mentioned, is not just for your company, Rocket.Chat, but it's also you've engaged and invited your customers on this journey. So I think that's really important. And And we're excited to see some of the things that you're rolling out with your product line. So appreciate the share.
And yeah, it was a big difference on even building a team. I think on the beginning we had pretty much the sales team where they were focused on just getting the customers and having that landing sale. And now more and more we understand that we're building a team of customer success that is focused on this next phase, on helping those accounts to grow to their full potential. And I think that's a big shift between where's our focus on acquiring customers first and growing through acquisition. And now there's a lot more growing through expansion.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And Gabriel, you're obviously leveraging some new and emerging technologies within your tech stack. So is there anything you might be able to share with us today?
Yeah, we have one of the requirements of our stack that we try to keep it as clean and elegant as possible. As an open source company, we understand that one of the barriers for people to come and participate and contribute to a project is how complex that project is for you to understand and start contributing or having an impact. And also because one of the key differentiation of our solution is how easy it is to customize to different needs for each organization. We also have to bear in mind in trying to make it simple to understand and simple to external developers to understand the technology and change it. So we've been playing around with and as you're getting more now bigger companies, larger customers, we're playing around on how to make our product scales to the tens of thousands, if not like hundreds of thousands of users on a particular deployment. So we started to play with this whole the microservices architecture maybe 2 years ago, and we gradually started to find the right libraries and the right architecture to run this on using the Node.js. So all our stack uses Node.js. So everything is JavaScript. So that gives us the ability to write code that is running on the server using JavaScript, write the clients, the web clients using JavaScript. Our mobile apps are using React Native. So everything can be shared. The code base can be shared between server, mobile clients, and web clients in a lot of the libraries. Then for us to maintain this elegance on the stack, and bring the microservices, we are now using a library called Molecular that brings this microservices structure for the functions inside the server, inside the Node.js programming language, and also using NATs as the mechanism for the microservice talking to different deployments and different containers. So I think it's what we are proud of, being able to build a single language stack that use very clean libraries, able to scale using the microservice, using NATs, and also keeping it easy for a developer to learn from the mobile client to the web client for the server, just knowing JavaScript.
I love that. And, and I like how you put that together. It's efficient, yet elegant, right? And what's really cool about platforms since I used to develop years ago is things have really come together, and due to communities, open source communities, people get together and start to build better platforms and developer kits, so that again, it makes it a lot faster to move things from, basically from that napkin or that piece of paper, that idea out to production. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm, like I said, we're pretty excited for you to share that about your new company. So Gabriel, last question here. Can you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in tech or entrepreneurship?
Of course. And I might be biased on this answer, obviously, but I think one of the most important things for someone trying to get a career in tech, not just as a developer, but understanding, is in some point participate in an open source project. I think there's so much you can learn these days about when you participate on the community around a good, a cool open source project, you will have the opportunity to understand how like a distributed team works. You have a lot of ownership about what you're doing. You will be able to have your code being reviewed by some of the best developers around the world that are leading and managing those projects. You understand how to even if you open a bug or like an issue to report a bug or trying to make a suggestion for improvement, you understand how then to communicate, how to defend your arguments. I think it's one of the best way for someone to have a real world experience in some of the best developers out there on a scenario, which is pretty much now becoming how companies operate this distributed work. And also because there's a lot of headhunters, right? Some talent people looking for talent using GitHub, looking at people's profile on GitHub, what they contributed, what they have participated, and it's a big advantage for developers. If they have a GitHub profile with a lot of activity, they're going to start, and undoubtedly we start receiving some job offers. I know because our developers receive a lot of those because they participate in Rocket.Chat. So we know that we expose them to the world by being an open source company. And on the entrepreneurial side, I always say to people that for them to find problems that they really care about, and then they get in love with solving the problem, which is very different from what people sometimes do. It's like fall in love with a solution and then try to find a problem for that solution. Sometimes people fall in love with specific technology or specific approach, and then they want to find a place where they can apply that solution. And I think during the course of a company or a startup, you're going to have to pivot or reevaluate your solution so many times, your strategy on how to solve a problem, that if you're in love with the solution, you're going to be more reluctant to see the problem for what it is, and then be more reluctant to drop your current assumptions and solutions and try to find a different solution for that problem. So finding a problem that you care about, that really annoys you, and then you are eager to solve, I think is the best way for an entrepreneur to start building something.
I love that. And that's a perfect analogy that you shared on that, Gabriel. And obviously people that do this for a living, right? They don't even do it for a living. They do it because it's their life, like yourself, is finding that purpose and that why, like you said, finding that problem that really annoys the heck out of you or your, other people, and you want to solve that issue. So I appreciate the share. And Gabriel, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
It was a pleasure. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. And hope to speak soon.
Bye for now.